And that's how I look at it. What makes him get more respect than me? You my next door neighbor, you know what I tell him? You got yours from your family. I got mine from the ground up, from hard work and dedication.
Floyd Mayweather is one of the greatest ever. He's a brilliant defensive fighter. His speed, his boxing savvy. He's just a savant. He's just something special, no question about it. But I gotta look at the Sugar Ray Leonards of the world.
Floyd's way is safe. Not in a punk, but it's like the safe way, like nothing ain't gonna go wrong. But that's how he fight. That's his characteristic.
Floyd Mayweather is fired back in a big way after Stephen A. Smith publicly questioned his legacy and even suggested that Terrence Crawford could defeat him. In a heated discussion, Smith pushed back against Mayweather's claim of being the greatest fighter of all time, instead arguing that Sugar Ray Leonard holds that title. According to Smith, Mayweather's most impressive victories came at lightweight, but he never showed the same level of dominance in the higher divisions. He also downplayed the value of Mayweather's win over Canelo Alvarez, calling it far less remarkable than many fans believe. Those remarks sparked outrage from Mayweather, who has never been one to ignore criticism of his career. The former undefeated champion insists that his resume speaks for itself, and he is unwilling to let comments like these diminish what he views as an untouchable legacy.
It's not just about your skill set. It's who you do it against.
Your level of competition. Is it possible that he's so far beyond his level of competition that he made it look easy?
Well, I think he did as a lightweight. When he went up to the welterweight division, not so much. You know what I'm saying? Now, if
taking out Canelo the way he took out.
Well, he just gave him a boxing lesson, but Canelo was 22 years old. See, I remember
That's an excuse, though.
Well,
I don't like this, like he's 22, he's too young.
I will tell you this. Well, you know, you do have to take that into consideration.
The guy had 100 fights.
Well, let me explain.
22.
You have to take that into consideration when boxing is the issue. Now, if he got knocked on his ass, that's different. But when he simply got schooled, when you swinging a punch and Floyd is tapping you on your shoulder saying, I'm behind you, that's a problem. You understand what I'm saying? That's just a skill, like, you know,
Well, we could credit Floyd with that.
Of course, I am crediting. I'm saying he's a brilliant boxer. You know, Floyd knew how to move before you even threw the damn punch. You see what I'm saying? You got to be a veteran to know how to overcome that. You can't put a novice into the ring with Floyd Money Mayweather. You understand? He's going to school you. What I'm saying to you is that if you want to make an argument on Floyd Money Mayweather's half, which I'm not summarily dismissing, I would tell you it's this. Floyd Money Mayweather was undefeated for the last half of his career with one hand. He constantly broke his hand. He constantly broke his hand.
Boxing analyst Dawood Bey recently weighed in with a thoughtful breakdown, comparing Floyd Mayweather to Terrence Crawford in light of Crawford's recent performance against Canelo Alvarez. Bey admitted that, as a fan, he might lean ever so slightly toward Crawford in a fantasy matchup. Still, he was careful to emphasize that the comparison isn't so one-sided. Crawford's victory over Canelo was nothing short extraordinary, and naturally, many fans were quick to claim it surpassed anything on Mayweather's resume. But Bey reminded everyone that Floyd had already defeated Canelo years earlier, and not just beaten him, but dominated him comprehensively. Of course, Canelo was younger and still developing as a fighter at the time, but the performance remains one of Mayweather's defining moments. For Bey, the key point is balance. Crawford deserves all the praise in the world for dismantling Canelo in such convincing fashion. At the same time, dismissing Mayweather's greatness in favor of Crawford would be unfair. Both men carved out their own legacies, and both victories over Canelo hold historic weight in different contexts. In Bey's eyes, the truth lies in the middle. Two generational talents, each leaving an unforgettable mark on the sport.
That Bud goes about it a little bit better than Floyd in this sense. Floyd will, like, when Floyd fought Canelo, he was standing right there. He wasn't running and all of that. He wasn't doing all of the stuff that they say, oh, runner, Mayweather's a runner. He wasn't doing that versus Canelo. He was right there. And I can't even really remember Canelo catching him like that, like with nothing. With Bud, I could remember Canelo catching Bud a couple times, but Bud, like, gave him the, all right, put your foot out, what's up? Boxing turn, boxing turn, boxing turn. Like, and was like really standing there and like giving it to him with another type of energy. It was, the energy is more so like, all right, what's up? Like, you can't beat me. Floyd energy be like, bop, bop, I'm better than you. You see what I'm saying? They don't really be respecting that all the time. They'll acknowledge it like, yo, I ain't gonna lie, he hard to catch. But they be like, nah, you didn't beat me up. Bud go about his fights in a way where as though the Mexican fan base gotta be like, I ain't gonna lie, Canelo, he hollered at you. Like, he came at you too. He didn't just be better than you. He was better, and then he was like, all right, I'm gonna come at you. And I think they really respect that. Shit, I respect it. I don't think it's not, I think the less you get hit, the better. I'm always gonna take it that way. So, you know what I'm saying? As a boxing fan, the kind of boxing fan that I am, I would have leaned towards Floyd's performance, but Bud's performance was like, if I'm a casual fan, I'd rather watch the way Bud do it.
Trainer Bozy Ennis spoke with conviction about Terrence Crawford's place in boxing history, pushing back against critics who continue to question the champion's resume. Ennis made it clear that Crawford had consistently proven himself as one of the defining fighters of his generation, not by playing it safe, but by embracing challenges head-on. According to Ennis, what sets Crawford apart is his willingness to face risk, regardless of the opponent across the ring. Time after time, Crawford has taken fights others might avoid, and instead of shrinking under pressure, he's thrived in those moments. That hunger to test himself against dangerous competition is what, in Ennis's view, separates him from many of his contemporaries, be why constantly seeking out the toughest opponents and conquering them in convincing fashion, Crawford has carved out a legacy among the sport's elite. Ennis urged fans and commentators alike to stop downplaying his achievements and start recognizing the rarity of what he's accomplished. Few fighters, he argued, have ever been as versatile, daring, and consistently successful as Terrence Crawford.
I think he could have got the stoppage. He'll tell you that if he had to sit down a little bit more. But I tell you, Terrence can fight and he can box. And he can fight. He'll fight this side. He take chances, man. You know what I mean? And that's how you be great, man. And he one of the greatest out there now. I think he's great. I think he's the best out there right now in that division. You know what I mean?
What's left?
For Terrence?
Yeah.
If I was Terrence, I would retire. That's what I would do. He did everything, man. He done everything, man. You know what I mean? Look how many titles he done won. All that stuff, you know what I mean? I think I'll go off one in the sunset, man. You know what I mean? You don't need no more money. You know what I mean?
Terrence Crawford's longtime trainer, Brian Bomac McIntyre, believes the champion story is far from finished. Speaking on his fighter's future, Bomac revealed that Crawford could still have 2 or 3 more marquee bouts before even thinking about retirement. And those fights, he hinted, could come with an even bigger challenge, a move up to the middleweight division at 160 pounds. For McIntyre, such a leap isn't just about chasing another belt. It's about pushing boundaries and strengthening a legacy that is already Hall of Fame material. Crawford has already etched his name into history books by becoming undisputed in multiple weight classes, a feat few fighters in any era have achieved. Yet the possibility of climbing higher, testing himself against larger opponents, and potentially capturing more titles has fans and team members buzzing. Bomac emphasized that Crawford is no longer fighting for recognition or outside approval. He's already secured his place among boxing's all-time greats. What motivates him now is legacy building, the kind of daring moves that only the sport's legends ever attempt. For Crawford, the remaining chapters of a career aren't about proving he belongs, but about reminding everyone why he's special.
The second time. They can't take it away from him neither.
Does this one mean more to you than the other ones?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah?
It gives us the opportunity as a team to go into the Hall of Fame. Instead of a fighter going in there, instead of a coach going in there, it gives us a better chance of going there as a team.
Well, congrats on that. I know that means a lot to you and the team.
Definitely that.
You know, I asked Bud this after the fight 2 weeks ago. Would he consider this his signature win? He said, yeah, one of them. Do you think that was his signature win of his career?
Well, the last fight?
Yeah, the Canelo win.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was the underdog. Everybody thought that, you know, he was going to get beat.
What's up?
That he was going to get beat. Surprising.
So what's next for Bud? What do you want to see him do?
I just want to see him, you know, spend time with his family because, you know, training for a fight, you be gone a long time. You're going away from your family. And it could take a toll on you after a while. So,
as his trainer, do you feel like he should just sail off into the sunset after this monumental
well,
win?
you know what? They made it look so easy. Shit, you know what I'm saying? Shit, got 2-3 more in him and shit. You know what I'm saying? Training camp will try harder. You know what I'm saying?
Former champion Timothy Bradley spoke with genuine admiration about Terrence Crawford's impact on the sport, especially on younger fighters finding their way. Bradley explained that many prospects struggle with self-doubt, particularly when critics dismiss their progress or question their potential. Crawford, he said, has become living proof of what perseverance and determination can accomplish. Early in his career, Crawford dealt with constant skepticism. Some doubted his resume. Others questioned whether he could ever dominate across multiple divisions. But time and again, he answered those doubts in the only place that matters, inside the ring. By collecting belts, moving through divisions, and ultimately becoming an undisputed champion more than once, Crawford did what many thought was impossible. For Bradley, Crawford's influence reaches far beyond the victories themselves. He embodies resilience, courage, and the belief that hard work can silence any critic. That's why so many young fighters look to him today, not only as a champion, but as a role model. In Bradley's view, Crawford is more than a decorated fighter. He is an example of never giving up, a standard of what true persistence can achieve.
And the man that you have become, you're a true inspiration to the youth, man. Anybody that's troubled, any troubled kid out there, man, they can look at you and say, hey, man, I got a fighting chance to get myself out the situation. All I got to do is make that choice. That's what you did, Crawford. You made that choice, man. You made that choice to change, bro. You know, you saw going down, man, years ago, man, in 2008, man, when that bullet came through that window, you knew you had to do something or you'll end up 6 feet under, bro. You know, so that courage that you had, man, and that will that you had and that mindset of change, man, and the gym, you know, grooming you and turning you into a man, because that's what boxing does. See, people don't understand, man, that boxing is more than just throwing punches. You know, boxing teaches you discipline. You know, it teaches you love for people, love for others, man. You know, working together. You know, you're there constantly every single day, man. You know, spending time there perfecting a craft, man. Perfecting yourself, understanding yourself, learning more about yourself each and every single day. You push it inside the gym. You know, boxing is more than just throwing punches, man. You know.
I'm sorry. He's a genius. He is a fucking... You know, when I get bored with today's crop of boxers, and Terrence, to be fair, has kind of helped me out of my boredom. But sometimes I just go on YouTube and I watch the 24/7s and then I watch the fight. I'm not joking. I watch the whole fucking episodes and then I watch the fight. And my guy is a genius. A genius. There will always be an argument, oh, you should have fought that person then. And I get it. I get it. Right? It's kind of the argument you can't throw at Muhammad Ali, right? You could throw that argument at Floyd. But dude, unbeaten is unbeaten. Unbeaten is unbeaten. Multi-weight world champion is multi-weight world champion. Do you know what I mean? I've never seen a boxer so like, I'm going to work you out, and then when I work you out, you're done. Shall I repeat that? I'm going to work you out, and when I work you out, you're done. And Floyd had this thing where first 2 rounds, you think, oh, shit, man, this guy's in this fight, and then he works you out. And then he works you out. Floyd, Pretty Boy Floyd was better than Money, but Money Floyd had, obviously, the fights, right?
The fact that Terrence Crawford did what he did against Canelo Alvarez, Terrence Crawford made himself the face of boxing, and he did it. He made it look easy. He made the Errol Spence fight look easy. That was supposed to be the toughest test of his career. I thought it was. The whole world thought it was. It was the easiest fight he had at welterweight. I thought, but I've been saying for years that he's gonna easily beat Canelo Alvarez, and he did. But many people expected Canelo to knock him out. That wasn't the case. With that said, now people are trying to throw. He's 38. Tomorrow, Terrence Crawford will be 38 years old. He's a 5-division champion. If he wants to stick around, like Terrence Crawford stated, okay, Terrence Crawford stated, if I do stick around, I'm not dropping down no further than 160 pounds. If he stays in boxing, I say he have 2 more fights. Fight Janibek, who's the unified champion. Hopefully Carlos Adames and Lara fight and unify the belts. 2 fights at 160, pad the stats, become a 6 division champion and a 4 division undisputed champion. Cool. Other than that, Terrence Crawford needs to retire.